Oh, yeah. So let us get started. So others they'll take recording, others they'll join after some time. Fine. So in the last session, we talked about like how to what I call build a service connector through which we could able to talk to third party portal application, right? One is what you call get request, which means we can just pull or extract details from third party portal application. And the second one was we have built a service connector from the scratch where we can post inputs to third party service so that we could able to extract data based on the input that we supply. Example, we gave tracking number as an, so based on that we could able to get the result from appropriate what do you call uh, service, which is FedEx service. We have used it, right? So, uh, likewise, we can think of many other ways to build the service connectors, even which means we can also build service connectors based on what WSDL, which is web services description or definition language. Yeah, I think that part that we have already done when we talked about web services transformation, right? That's why I didn't talk about it. And now, today, we are going to focus primarily on the process flow by using what? Process designer. Yeah. So let me talk about that, like how to perform that. Yeah. So let us start with this particular what this basic elementary steps that we need to consider when it comes to what application integration. Yeah. So in this particular diagram, we can simply see what a client server communication. So one is server application, other is what client applications. So we can just make them to talk to each other by using what? Request and response. Meaning client can send a request to server. Server is going to serve the purpose and send the response back to the client. Yeah. So that's what we can see as part of simple request and response in case of what application integration, right? Now, once we know that, the next step is what we can say n number of applications as part of this particular what we call list of applications. Yeah. So, for example, to build that, we need to go to application integration and start creation of a process, and then see this is going to be the process designer workspace where we could able to see start step and end step. Yeah, I think we have seen with one practical example where we talked about a empty process, like how to create, how to publish, how to access it from outside applications. One by using Google Chrome, other by using what? Postman. We have done that. But for that, we need to make sure that here we have to give either allowed groups and users or select what? Allow anonymous access. So one of them is mandatory in order to access this application from outside, right?
Are you sharing anything?
Okay. Oh, you can't see it, huh? This is very, one second. Sorry. Yes, I've shared it.
Oh,
Yeah, now I think you can see, right?
yes. Thank
Yes.
you.
So yeah, I was trying to talk about earlier another diagram, which is like how we can make multiple applications to talk to each other by using a request and response. Here, clients can send a request to server is going to service that particular request and sends the response back to the client. Yeah. So this way we can make multiple applications to talk to each other. Yeah. In application integration also we do the same thing, which means we make multiple applications to interact with each other, right? So once you build it, right, list of applications can be seen as part of this particular what you call view, right? So now to do that, we need to select application integration and then start creation of a process where we can start a process and create what empty process over here where we have got start step and end step. Yeah. And in this, in order to make this particular process our API, because process will be converted to API where we need to make it accessible through or with some user or a group. Can you see here? Allowed groups and users we can supply or allow anonymous access. One of them is mandatory. Then only we can access this API a process from outside IACS, right? So now we need to follow this procedure, and by adding input fields, if you want, we can add input fields, and then we can start what you call adding output fields. Then we can also add assignment step if you want to assign a value to a variable. So that we do it by using what assignment step, right? So then select existing values or new values. You can just add it as part of assignment step. Then, so we can also use a formula to build complex expression, and result of that expression can be stored in this assigned variable. Yeah. So this is an example, like what we do in expression transformation, right? We don't have that many exhaustive functions over here, but we have got basic elementary particle functions. Yeah. So that's it. We can build a formula, an example concat we are trying to do here, and then that's it. Yeah. Once it is done, then can just publish. Publish means others could able to access this particular process. Yeah. So that's it. Or we can also run within this IACS. Yeah. I think we talked about how to run this particular process outside what IACS like Google Chrome and Postman. Here we can also run it within itself, yeah, which is within IACS. Like this, you can just specify something, you can get it executed. That's it. So this way we can see that result is successful or not, yeah, and monitor the status. I think we have seen this also. Look at the output. This is advanced view output also, we have seen it. Yeah. And this is executing by using what Postman. Yeah, this is another application, right? So here, what we are trying to do, we are trying to access this particular process, one within IACS, second by using Google Chrome, third by using Postman. Yeah. So that's it, which means application accessible from anywhere within itself, which means within IACS and outside IACS like Google Chrome or some other stuff, right? So that's it. Yeah. Now, as part of this particular process designer, we follow some steps. Yeah. So, for example, we create a process, and for each process, we set the properties. Like let us say, if we take empty process, where we start with what start step. This particular start step we configure with allowed groups and users or anonymous access. Then within this process designer, we can have we can configure process object properties, then add steps. For example, assignment step or jump step or throw step or parallel step, whatever. We got multiple steps, we can add them. And in case if you have any faults, like a fault handling, right? So fault code, reason, and detail. So those things can be supplied as part of fault handling. I think we have done this as part of task flows also, right? Same thing. We can do it even in what application app integration process designer. That's it. So let me close that. And this also we can just close it. Yeah. Now let us start performing this with a practical example, right? So to do that, let's go to app integration. Yes. Now we've got what I call dashboard where we can see create process, all that we talked about it. So now let us create a new process from the scratch. So select new processes and process, right? Click on create. So as we discussed earlier, within this app integration, we can also access data integration tasks also. Yeah. So let us start from here. So process which is going to be one. We'll start with the first process where we can just configure start. That's with allow anonymous access. Without anything, we'll try to save, publish, and run. I've already shown that. I'll just quickly recap that. Yes, it is published. Now we can just go to run, run within ISS itself, where we can select new input. Yeah, let's say exec from what ISCS, which is execute from ISCS. Yeah, and then once it is ready, we can just run it. Yeah, see, it is successful. That's it. So this way, we could able to what create a simple process and get it executed. It's just a preview of what we did. Yeah. So that's it. This is the first thing. And same thing, we can also execute it from outside. Yeah. So outside means so we need to get the URL, SOAP or service URL, and just copy and paste over here. Yeah. So see here you could able to see empty, which means everything is successful. Same thing, we can also do it from another application, which is let's say Postman. Yeah. Yes. So here you can just copy and paste. Yeah, and send. See, it's empty, which means everything is successful. That's it. Now, the theory we discussed, right? Three ways to execute within ISCS and outside ISCS, two ways. That's over. Now, let us start getting into. Let me close this and then close this. Now, let us build another process where we are going to go with what some other step. Yeah. So let's say process with what CDI, which is going to be cloud, data integration. So we can just drag and drop this particular what step here. Fine. Now here we need to understand like how to specify this particular data integration stuff. Go to system service and select what run cloud task. See, so these are the properties. Input fields. We need to specify mandatory one task name. Yeah, and then outputs we get it like this: success rows, fail rows, whatever. Right. Now let us apply this task by clicking on select and select any task. You can select any other task flow or even independent task also. Yeah, that's it. Then wait for task to complete and fail and task errors if you want. You can also enable, and fault handling also you can configure if you want it. Yeah, so that's it. Now let us save, publish. Yeah, once you publish, right, outside also people can access, can run. See, there is no service here because we have not configured the user part. Yeah. So we need to enable this and save it. Yeah, publish again, because any change that you do, right, so we need to republish and recopy that URL and then close and run from outside. Yeah. So it's running. So it is successful. Empty, right? But we should get the result as part of what specified target, you know, which is a joiner result, right? Yes or no? Yeah. So that's what we should get it. It's still doing. That's why we need to specify in this particular app integration. After this or within this, we can configure wait. Yeah, input fields, right? Wait task to complete. If we enable, right, it will wait till it gets over. Yeah. See, now we got the result. Just now we got, right, data transfer task where we are dumping this result. That's it. Simple inner join, right? Using this template, we have done that, and we could able to execute it successfully within what this particular app integration, right? So that's over. Next, let us start getting into assignment step. Yeah, I'll just put it here only. Assignment step, what it does, assign a value to a variable, right? Which means at runtime, we can supply values to variables. For that, we can add input fields over here. So get into input fields and click on plus and start adding the input field. Example, any name can be given here. I'm just giving here, let us say, input, and then we can also add output field, which is, let's say, the name is what, output, you know, an initial value. If you want, you can supply, let's say, test out. Yeah. So then, if you want to add temporary fields for manipulation or intermediate manipulation, so we can get it added. That's it. Yeah. Now the next question: if you want to start assigning value to a variable, click on plus. See here, output, which is equal to input, or it could be even static constant value, right? So, so that's it. Which means This could be a dynamic value or it could be a static value. For the sake of simplicity, we are trying to add a static constant value and see how we could able to look at this result in the browser based application. Yeah. So now let us try to publish. Yeah. And here we could able to same procedure, get the URL and execute it outside. Yeah. See, we got right static constant. Yeah. On top of that, it also would execute what another task, which is going to be what? See, it got modified 754, right? So that also got executed. Yeah. So we can also execute this even in Postman also. Yeah. See process CDI, right? Send it. See, here also we got static constant, right? That's it. So now that we understood how to assign value to a variable statically, this is static value. Yeah. Now the question: can we supply what dynamic input so that we could able to see the result over here? Answer is yes. So we can add another what assignment just to understand this clearly and assign output to what input. Yeah. Example, let's say if we can also assign to current user. Yeah, current user like who is running this particular process flow as an API, right? Like example, anonymous. So we should get that. Yeah. So second assignment is overriding the first one, right? So we should get the latest one as part of the result. Yeah. So let us publish this and get the URL and run it. Yeah. This procedure is same because see once we have URL, right, this URL is accessible from anywhere like a Salesforce application, Amazon application, standalone application, or even Postman or from browser or wherever you want. We can just get it executed. See, now we can see the dynamic value got populated, which is anonymous. Yeah, because that's what we have given as part of this particular start process. Yes or no? We are trying to invoke it by using what? Anonymous access. Yeah. Same thing we got it. Now the question, you don't want that. Instead, we need to supply value to this variable at the time of running it. In that case, what we need to do? We can supply the input here. This input, a value to this input should be supplied at the time of running this particular process, either from outside or from within ISCS. Where we invoke doesn't matter. What we supply is what matters for this. Yeah. Yeah. So let us copy this and then what paste it here. See, we got empty because we're not supplied the input here. See, now we can see here it got successful. That's okay. But where is the effect of our input? So that's where we need to supply example. That's a question mark input, which is parameter, right? Followed by value. Yeah. So which means, see here, now whatever we supply input, right? We could able to see it here, which means it's like assigning value to a variable at runtime. That's what we are trying to do. Meaning, at the time of running this particular API, we are supplying the parameter name and corresponding value. That value we could able to say over here because that is what has been assigned over here. So likewise, like whatever is done as part of this output assignment, right? Same thing we could able to see in the result. Yeah. So I hope it is clear to everyone, right? Venkat, Ajit, and Sravanti.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, fine. So now, once we know that, then let us start getting into the next step. Yeah. So there is a sub process, which means we can also call one process within this process. Example, I think we have created one process right now. Okay. So, like calling a process within another process. That's what it is trying to say. The process, it's empty, right? And if you want to supply iteration rule input fields for this, we can do it. Others, it is not required. So this assignment step, we are doing constant here, but the same output, right? So if you want, we can also add some more output fields over here. Example, output, which is, yes. Next, we can assign here, instead of constant here, instead of this, I'll just add another one, which is output one, which is, let's say I'll just put here constant. So, okay. Uh, See, we got output one is equal to constant. Now, if we try to supply what input is equal to something, yeah, see here, we got error here. So another process being accessible because that last process, it was not completed. Yeah. So we need to wait for some time. Yeah. So which means, say mapping task got failed because we were running that joiner task, right? Yeah. That would take some time. That's why we need to click on wait. Yeah. So, and message you can see unknown fault, right? See, now it is over. One is a dynamic output we got, output AAA. Another output field is what static. So in this we covered with the two assignment steps and two. One is a constant value to one variable. Another is what dynamic value to another output field. That's it. Likewise, we can add n number of output fields to obtain the result. See here, this is 8 2, right? So latest date and time. That's it. Yeah. So this is how one can able to what generate populate multiple output fields with the multiple assignment steps. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that is done. Next, create step would require some object to be created based on Salesforce, whatever, but we need to create that. And this, I think we executed. It's empty, right? You will not see the effect of it. Then end process, it is going to end the process flow. Throw. If you have any errors, I think this also we have seen it as part of task flow. Same thing we can see it here. So milestone is basically sending a synchronous reply to the original request. But allow to continue. But the difference between end and milestone is what? It can allow to continue, but this guy will not allow you to continue. That's the difference. Yeah. So example, if you just try to place it here, yeah. So synchronous, see here, send a synchronous response. Or we can also end a process. See, if you say end process, that is gone. End step, right? So we can use this particular milestone step for two reasons. One, to end it. Second, to send synchronous response. You know, it is invalid, right? Because we have already selected end process. See, it is valid now. Yeah. So next, we can also throw error message. Yeah, let us run this first. Make sure that it's a smooth completion with with milestone step. Yeah, you'll not see any effect here, but whether it's going to end this particular process flow or not. So that's what we are trying to see it here. Yeah, see, it is completed. If you supply some input, you'll also get the same. Like earlier, yeah, because this assignment step, supplying this input is not mandatory. Now let us say if you want to make it mandatory, which we could do as part of configuring the input field, which is required, yeah, which is mandatory, right? So now let us try to publish and copy and paste it here. See, we got error because validation failed because missing input, right? So that's the effect of that required. So now we can supply the input here. So that's it. Now we got the result, right? So we can make it optional and we can also make it what? Mandatory. So that's it. For example, if the tracking number is mandatory, then we can select required yes or else no. Yeah. So that's the effect of mandatory field, right? Now let us start understanding what I call another step, which is going to be throw step, which means once we reach this particular point, we can throw it rather than ending a process. Let us say we don't expect the control to be reached till this point. In that case, we can throw error message. This is exactly similar to what we have seen earlier, right? Example, so code could be anything and detail could be anything. So, or reason could be anything, whatever. Yeah, I'm just selecting existing particular messages. Yeah. So any fault can be supplied here. Yeah. Now let us see. Okay, we need to supply the input here. See, now we got this message, right? We gave error code, invalid path, unknown fault. All the messages, all three inputs we gave, right, as part of throw. Could able to see it. So which means the control has gone to that level. See, 8.7. This also got completed. Yeah. So just like what specifying the path is right or wrong. In such cases, we use what? Throw. Sorry, throw error message, right? So now let us start understanding what Send, this receive is basically we use it for messaging part. Wait, I think we know it. Wait for some task to get over. Yeah. So you can just select this and get it added here. Yeah. So wait wherever you want, you can just add it. So for example, wait some 1 second or whatever, or 10 seconds or some seconds. Yeah. And then parallel part also we know, like creates multiple paths instead of 15, right? We'll just put only one. Yeah. So that we can save time. So parallel paths, executing several tasks at the same time. Example, here itself we can just add it and add any step over here, whatever you want it. For example, take a service step where we are trying to make use of any connection. If you have already have connection, we don't have any connections, so we can't use that. So let's use, let's say process. If you have any process, we can also see, select and start, let us say, invoking these or these or whatever, process CDI. Yeah. And then, and in parallel to that, other side, we can also what call any other process also here. Yeah. Now let us say we are going to run this particular another service. So within that, we are going to select, let's say, system service. Here, we can also send or perform some JMS sequence or deleting object or run a shell command if you want to run. But so we need to have an environment, like a shell environment, to perform this particular operation, or else it won't work, right? So, for example, if you just try to supply some, let us say, command is going to be what dir command. So, example, dir command. So, but if you have environment to invoke this particular command, then so we can get it added here. So then specify any directory, example, C:// whatever. Yeah. Other things are same, fault handling and so on. So if there is a problem, you'll get a zip problem here to invoke this particular shell command. Yeah. So there is a invalid, where is that? See, process CDI has a problem. No service is selected here. Oh, CDI task we need to select. Yeah. So here we have what? System service. Select some CDI stuff. That's a mapping task, null check we are trying to do, right? So these things are same. Wait for this, whatever, right? So that's fine. So now save it, publish. See, it was not published because license problem here. Yeah. So the shell command license, we don't have it, right? So now you can just delete this and add another step, which is say, decision step. Yeah. So where we can build a decision, you know, which is a condition, right? So if yeah, current user, yeah, contains anonymous, whatever, right? So some value, that's a test. Username is not test. Then what happens? The control will be sent to, you know, this block, which is otherwise. Yeah. where we can just, let's say here, if it goes here, we go to jump to some step. You know? So current user step or whatever, or we go to otherwise within that. You can just, let's say, wait for some time, yeah, 1 second, whatever. Yeah. So that's it. So this way we can just what you call add n number of what you call steps. Yes. So input in it. So it is running. It is taking some time because we have added multiple steps. So it's a current user now. It is going here, jump, 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 jump. It will keep on getting executed many times. So we can see this result 8-7, right? And then if we try to refresh, yeah. So 8-4, as you can see, right? 14-14, which is null part. I think we have done. We called somewhere as parallel task, right? This one. It is executing. This also getting executed, but it's repeating here. It got stuck here only. It didn't proceed further. Yeah. So in that case, what we can do is just put some wait, you know, which means the control comes under this particular wait too, and then save. See, now we got error message. It took some time to execute it. So now we can publish. Okay. It's taking time. Yeah, 8:16. See, now this also got completed. This is still not done. This error code 500, the message is empty. Yeah. So which means if you have any errors, right? So automatically it is going to throw up that message. This Swagger file, I think I talked about it. You can see the definition here. Process CDA request, whatever structure we have, right? You can see it here. So input and CDA response, which is output and output one. Yeah. And in the sense, we can see the two outputs in this two assignment steps, right? So that we can see it here. Yeah. So that's it. Like how one can start what I call building this particular app integration flow with n number of steps over here. Yeah. One thing which I didn't talk about here is parallel step all done except human task which requires separate license and also this create step. Yeah. To create it, we need to have at least one object which is Salesforce or whatever. So for example, let me create a new one with a create. Yeah. So that part need to be discussed. One sec. Okay. Yeah. So that expects some Salesforce object because nothing is there. We cannot use this step. So we need to create a connection, which is app connection to make use of it. See, or else we cannot say anything here. So that is the what you call issue here. In the sense, to resolve that, we need to create what and some third-party connection, which is app connection, by using this app connection, right? So we need to create it, and then we can make use of that within that create step. Yeah. So new connection, we can use whatever you want it, like file or Amazon S3 or so, which is email service and whatever you want. You can just select and use it here. Even Salesforce and service connector using a Swagger. That also you can because you have already built it, right? So our service connector from the scratch where we supply this tracking number to get the result. So here we can directly get it selected here. Yeah. First name we can supply here. So which is typicode.com. I think we have already given, right? Yeah. Value should be given. Yeah. Example. This one. This is an app connection based on Swagger. Yeah. And save it. So that's it. This way we can just create this app connection and it is now it is fine. It got published, right? Similarly, we can also create for other service connector also. Then once it is done, then we can get in here. And if you have any connection, we could be able to see it, or else we cannot see it. Yeah. It is still not ready. So we can create another one. So it takes some time. It's still taking time. So likewise, you can also create another app connection. Just an application, we can use it. That's what it means. Yeah. So even with messaging also, messages could be based on Kafka or MQP or Rabbit. There's one more here. Message queues. Yeah, Rabbit MQ. So this is from scratch. So here we need to give some number. That's just some number here. That's it. Yeah. Publish. Now, if you look at this, it is published. Right. Now I can go back to this process and see, still not ready. So now we need to start getting into what? I want to create part that you just can take care by creating one Salesforce or even this also, like whatever service that we have used, right? You can just get it called. Yeah. So this is how what I call one can start what invoking any process. And if you want to monitor this, whatever process that we executed, right, we can go to application integration console. For data integration stuff, monitor. This one, app integration console. Yeah, can you see here? This is faulted, this is completed. Detailed steps can be seen if you click on this ID, yeah, where you can see the preview. Yeah. Similarly, faulted one also we can see it. Yeah, the complete flow here. Yeah. So you can also click on that to look at the metrics kind of thing, like where and when it was executed, all that. Yeah. And we can also version that which version we are using it. So yeah, instance. So that's it. And monitoring this, I think we've already seen it. So for example, if we take this, so this is a full flow of execution, right? Now, if you want to just look at detailed output or input and output, that we can get in here and start taking a look at example process one, where we have got variables like example this one. Here you can see this, right? And also, so we can take a look at this and specify the object and then like assign like whatever is done. Can you see here? So ID all that. Then process one, this also got finished successfully. Then output mapping. Here also you can just expand it to look at individual statuses. Yeah. See, this thing is going to help us to troubleshoot. Yeah. Like whatever issues that we have it here, we can just get it troubleshooted. So, so assignment output one, there is a one here. So see output one, you can see, right? Similarly, assignment output, yeah. Here also we could able to see this is a constant, right? Hard-coded value. So here we can see get value, which means we are trying to get value at runtime. See this much of detailing information, you'll get it as part of this flow chart, or you can say advanced view. Yeah. So here also you can see what comes in, which is mapping task joiner, then what went out. So we can also take a look at attachments if there are any attachments here. And then we can also take a look at the parameters, like task and wait for task to complete, all that. Then we can see run cloud task. See here. So another instance is currently running and status code also we can see it. Which means what? We can clearly see very detailed steps here. So which is more than enough to troubleshoot many issues. Yeah. So now here also you can see logs, execution logs. If there are any faults, we can see it here. If there are any data exchange stuff, we can see it here. The rewind punch here, we can see it here. If we say all, we can see all of them. Yeah. So that's it. This is outline. I think we've already seen that. And executing stuff and logs part. Yeah. So that's it about this monitoring part and also debugging part of this application integration stuff. Yeah. So this way we can take care of building any process flow to get the job done. Yeah, based on the way we want it. Now we need to start getting into debugging steps. This is a one way to debug. We talked about it, and performance tuning test steps also we need to discuss. So we'll do that in the next session. Can we have it in the evening? Venkat, Ajit, and Sravanti, like 7 p.m. IST or 6 p.m. IST. Sravanti, Venkat, and Ajit.
Yeah, 7 p.m. is okay for me.
Okay. How about Sravanti and Venkat? For your morning time.
I'll be like free after like 9:30 CST
AM.
actually, which is 8.
8 p.m. India. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sravanti, is it
By the
okay?
time I can finish up all my meeting.
Okay, Venkat. Sravanti,
7:30 IST won't work because I'm in EST zone. So already I'll be logging in.
8 means 10:30 a.m. Your time, Sravanti. Correct, no?
Uh,
Correct,
after
no?
10:30,
7:30 a.m. I believe. Yeah, PST.
Yes. 8 p.m. IST, which is equal to 10:30 a.m. EST. Sravanti, is that okay? Half an hour, 1 hour.
yeah, sure.
It's fine. So, Ajit, 8 p.m. is okay, right?
Yeah, okay.
Fine. So we'll meet with the same link, or else I'll share the link. I have your email address, right? I don't know whether they'll do it or not. If not, right, I'll share the link. You can just join in that link. So we'll cover some debugging steps plus performance tuning steps. I'll talk about it during that session. Fine.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks to all of you, and bye.